Let's go!
Hey everybody, Coach Scott here, and today I want to weigh in on the subject of monk fruit. After years of study and research and talking with my trusted advisors and colleagues, I want to talk to you about the sweetener monk fruit. You see, monk fruit is a sweetener that's extracted obviously from the monk fruit. And the monk fruit is really a small round fruit, and it's grown in Southeast Asia. And again, this fruit has been around for centuries. Traditional Chinese medicines have used it. But the reason that I have not pulled the trigger on monk fruit was years ago when I started, it had not been an approved sweetener from the Food and Drug Administration. The FDA didn't approve it yet. And so I really didn't pay a lot of attention because it only came on the market in about 2010 and was approved shortly thereafter that. So let me talk to you a little bit about monk fruit and why I'm probably going to be adding monk fruit as one of our approved sweeteners besides stevia and honey. Monk fruit contains really natural sugars, mainly fructose and glucose. But what happens is, unlike most fruits, the natural sugar in monk fruit aren't responsible for its sweetness, which this is very unique. So instead, how it gets its sweetness and that intense sweet flavor is from unique antioxidants called magrosides, or magrosides, however you pronounce it. But during the process, these magrosides are separated and fresh pressed out into fresh pressed juice. Therefore, the monk fruit sweetener doesn't contain fructose or the glucose. And because of this, what happens is it makes it so much more sweeter. Some people have estimated like 100 times or 200 times sweeter than regular table sugar. So that's why it's a very viable source of sweetening. The great news is there's 0 calories and it's 0 on the glycemic index. So monk fruit is incredibly well versed. You got to understand that there's going to be a little bit different sweetener than you're probably used to. But again, so many of you have asked me to weigh in on monk fruit and why we don't use monk fruit as one of our approved sweeteners. And so that's the reason why. It's just because when I got into this health and wellness business years ago, there wasn't a lot of research on monk fruit, and it had barely been approved by the FDA. So I just didn't have enough data to support, and I wanted to keep it simple. So honey and stevia have always been my go-to sweeteners, but the real question and the real thought is that can we expand on that? And so I will go ahead and tell you that if you have something that has monk fruit in it, I would not let that bother you one bit. And again, that is eventually going to be an approved sweetener with the next printing probably of our manual. There's some other sweeteners out there that are really good that we haven't talked about yet, like Yukon, like allulose, and those two, once I get enough research and data to support what we're trying to accomplish, I promise you that we will add those two if they meet the criteria and the standard. So as far as now goes, as far as right now, monk fruit, not officially an approved sweetener, but monk fruit is a very, very good option that will eventually, unless something pops up in the next 6 months that I'm unaware of, it will eventually become an approved sweetener for the LT360 manual and the LT360 Nation. So if you have any questions, reach out to me or your coaches. But until the next video, God bless you guys. Take care. I'll see you soon.